Everyone, welcome to Attila Total War. Yes, it is 2021 and people are still playing Attila. Here we have a 3v3 battle. It's a pitch battle. For me, I've brought the Burgundians and my allies. They are both the Western Roman empires. Let's first take a look at the armies and army composition. For me, I brought 6 shock cav. They are Royal Lancers. I believe we are playing on Ultra Fund, so there's no reason not to bring these guys. They have 270 charge bonus, which is going to do well against other shock cav and infantry. For my infantry, I have 2 Germanic Spear Masters on each of my flanks. These guys are used as the meat shield to blunt the enemy cavalry charge. And for my infantry, I have these guys, the Burgundian Axemen. These are excellent, cheap shock infantry. As long as they don't get charged upon by shock cavalry, they should be able to fend themselves. And for skirmishers, I have scattershot hurlers. These guys are, well, according to another YouTuber's test, they don't do particularly well against armored units, but for other skirmishers, they should be able to win. They should be able to have an edge over other skirmishers. For my ally, we have the Western Roman Empire, and he's brought an Equity Promoti for his milicav, and on this front he has, well, I believe this actually belongs to another. Nope, these are still his. Scole Palantine. And for infantry, he's brought Legio Comitatenses and Cornuti Signores, I believe. I have no idea how to pronounce these units. And here, Excutatoris Magister Militum as his general. And he has Ravenna Elite Ballistarii as his frontline skirmishers. These guys can do a good amount of damage to armored units. And here we have an experienced player, unlike us. He has 6 Cataphractarii and a bunch of Funditories in loose formation, Elite Palantina, Armigeri Defensoris, and for the general, he's got Palantina Guards to save money. Over on this side, to our opponents, we have amazingly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I believe 8 units of elite Austro-Gothic pikemen, and this guy is deserting. Behind them, we have elite Germanic archers. The problem with pikemen is that my allies can simply go around it and flank them from behind. So this whole pike line will perish under the pressure from my allies' shock cavalry. And they have, for my opponent, they have Taifali cavalry, which is not the best cavalry they can bring, I believe. Here he has Germanic levy as a meat shield, I think. Here we have the famous triple X formation used in the Roman Republic era. This is a very interesting player. He didn't bring any cavalry, I believe, and he's using the Eastern Roman Empire. In Attila, cavalry is key, and he had all his infantries are, well, melee infantry. He doesn't really have any spearmen, so if this player has more cav, he could easily destroy this player here. But still, it's a sight to see the triplex being used here. Not sure that's how you pronounce that formation, but again, not a native speaker. Here we have the Persians, the Sassanids. We have 5 shot cap and 1 general, and they have a bunch of Armenian spears. I believe they won't do well against my axis, and they have a fair amount of melee infantry here, sword infantry. Let's get this battle underway. The first thing I did was to shift all my cavalry to my right flank to prevent my enemy from flanking on this side. I'm not only bringing 3 cavalries here, I'm bringing all 6 units of my cavalry to that front, including the Germanic Spearmasters, to block the charge. And over on this side, my ally has pushed up his fonditories already. Here, the enemy has 4 units of Taifali cavalry at the ready. These shields look like Roman shields. Maybe they serve as auxiliaries in the Roman army. Perhaps. Don't really know the history of these units because I can't open the encyclopedia for some reason. I don't know why they had to make it online. I hope they are local. Over on this side we have a standoff, and my opponent has also shifted all his cavalry to the right flank. And once my units of cavalry are in position, I will commence the attack, pushing up the scattered shot hurlers here. This formation is stationary, and they have Tassudo ready. And my ally here just started to follow up with either flanks here. If this player is more, if the opponent here is more experienced, he could have destroyed some of our units because there's a huge gap between our armies. But he's not doing anything other than shifting some fonditories to the left flank. Okay, now my cavalry are in position, pushing up the hurlers here to harass the Persian player. He's not moving his cavalry yet, and he's shifting over some infantry to protect his cavalry. My axes are also following up, seeking to destroy his infantry line with their brutal charge. Here we have 3 units of Fonditori trying to sneak upon my hurlers, and they have already started to fire. Or not really. They're not in range yet. Still preparing. My skirmishers have started to fire upon his spearmen, which is not going to do great because these guys have huge shields. It would take my hurlers a long time to deal some damage to these units. But nonetheless, it attracted some attention. Over here, we have a camp fight. Scoli Palatine against Taifali cavalry, and the Taifali cavalry is losing. Partially because of the Scoli Palatine, and partially because of his own Germanic archers raining fire down these units. And the pikemen are moving a little bit. Here on this front, my hurlers are trying to deal some damage to these infantry units, which is not doing great. And here I used my skirmishers to destroy one of his skirmishers, and I've also pushed up my axis. He's starting to shift some of his cavalry units over to his front, which might not be a good idea considering all my cavalry is there. Here my axes are going to charge the spears, and the spear just got destroyed by these axes, losing over 60 men within a quick second. My axemen lost 15, and we've gotten 83, 86 kills. Here as well, these infantry lines crumbled under the pressure from my axemen. Again, we're all new players, so we shouldn't judge too much. Here we have a cavalry charge against my skirmisher. It's not really charging. I'm also shifting over my own cavalry and charging to my backboners. Not ideal, but my war hounds are falling up. Hopefully they are going to do some damage to the camp. And in general, trying to find some opportunities to flank my units. And it's not going for my axemen, which is good for me. But he's caught up by my shock cavalry and he's going to lose a lot of men on charge. Over on this front, the enemy is crumbling. I'm just trying to clean up this mess here, and knowing that he's not going to win on this front, he's starting to shift 1, 2, 3, 4 units of cavalry to support his ally. Hopefully they can find some victory there. Here we have the epic fight of pikemen versus standard infantry, and in the mix of it, we have Norwegian Oathsworns, who has 66 kills and lost 50 men. They're doing great. But the pikemen have crumbled because the cavalry shifted over and flanked and this front, and my opponents have been defeated on this front. The center is holding, but not for long, not in this formation at least. My ally is not in a hurry to push up his infantry. He's waiting for us to clean up the flanks. Here my opponent didn't do anything rather than waiting. Okay, here he's starting to shift some of his infantry over to this site to form a box to protect his skirmishers, but it won't do as well because these are melee infantry. They cannot stand the charge from my Royal Lancers, which is going to descend upon those units in a second. And here they are just cleaning up these units. What are these units? Yes. Croatian Oathsworns. These guys will not break. They will fight to the last man. Here we have more Croatian Oathsworns who has over 190 kills. Yep, 90 kills. We are killing the very different stories. The Catafricari is freed up. Now we have a short skirmish phase here. My cavalry is charging. Let's see. They still have their pillars. Yeah, a great charge from my cavalry. I mean, not that great, but not very. Well, it's not impressive. It's just a challenge. Okay, so not surprisingly, his entire infantry line is crumbled, and he shifted over more infantry to protect whatever he can protect. Skirmishers here, and these ballistaries are also firing upon those skirmishers. I really like the patterns of the shields. I wonder if these soldiers have barbarian origins, because many barbarians fought for the Roman army in the last days of the Roman Empire. The battle is about to conclude as both flanks have been freed up and have descended upon the center.
The tide of battle turns in our favor!
And they are making their last stand here by charging 3 legio competences into their counterparts. They are obliterated by these guys throwing their robots and charging early. And this should group these units, and the battle concludes. Thank you for watching. Peace.